Yo, guys, what's going on? Vince Bugs and the Mike G here for Embrace the Powers 2026. We've been going strong for 4 long years. We've had hundreds of guests, everybody from superstars to movie actors to Grammy stars and just an abundance of country singers and everything else. And I want to say welcome to Shauna, and I want to say, Mike, how are you doing, my brother?
Hello. Welcome in 2026. We're still here, guys. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Vince. We're still doing it. Great guests, as always. How's everybody doing?
Right. And Shauna, how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm excited about 2026 and super excited to be here on the podcast.
Right. And I might have to I'll probably mute because my dog's barking for some reason, but we'll get that ironed out. All right. So, hey, I want to talk to everybody. There's a thing out there called ultra running, which is pretty unbelievable. People like, and you've heard of David Goggins and all these guys that run 100 miles and several miles a day. So that Shauna's going to kind of educate us on this. And she is also works in real estate. But Shauna, where are you originally from? Because I know you're down here in Florida, but I know you're not. Are you a Tampsonian?
I am not. I am a Midwest girl. I grew up in Illinois, like 2 hours south of Chicago, and like cornfields and flat.
Oh, so you're not from Paducah, Kentucky, huh?
No. Well, I'm from a little town called Ogden, Illinois, just outside of Champaign-Urbana, but most people don't know it. So I just give directions. It's 2 hours south of Chicago.
Hey, I used to live in Wisconsin out there in Wausau. There ain't nothing out there either.
There's nothing out there. That's right. They used to say, like, if you drive through the town and blink, you might miss it. If you blink, you might miss it. Like, so tiny.
That's right. All right. So how did you get into ultra running? And kind of give everybody a background what ultra running is.
Okay, so ultra running is considered a marathon is 26.2 miles. So ultra running is considered anything that's over 26.2 miles. So 26.3 and up is considered ultra running.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love it. I fell in love with this sport. I really hadn't I didn't know anything about ultra running until I heard of this guy, Jesse Itzler, who was at the time just kind of came into my like Instagram algorithm of like, life is short. You have to plan things that excite you. And he was doing ultra running. And that's how ultra running came on my radar. But I had already run a marathon and I hated the marathon. But something about the ultra running and the idea of just this like even bigger goal got me excited about ultra running. And Jesse's thing was like, life is short. You have to go out there and like try things that excite you. And so he was like, if you have to walk it, you walk it, but at least you're like doing something. And so that was what I think got me into it, was there was like no pressure of, you don't have to win it. You don't have to be the fastest one, but you have to get out there and do like cool, epic things. And so that's how
I did Tough Mudder. That was 12 miles. Let me tell you something, man. And you're doing 20 something miles. That's crazy.
Well, I'm actually getting ready in today's Tuesday, and on Saturday I'm running my 4th 100-miler.
Beast mode. So what's the
4th
difference in the marathon terrain and the ultra running terrain? Because they are not the same.
They're not the same. So marathons are mostly done on street. So you're mostly running the marathons on street. But ultra running, it can be street or it can be trail. Most of them are trail. I prefer trail. Wow. The one I'm doing on Saturday is trail, but then I'm doing another one, Key West 100, which will be on street, and that's in May.
And so, and if you don't have to answer this, because I know it's a question inappropriate for women, but how old are you?
I'm 48.
Right. Yeah. So you're 48. and the thing that blows my mind is, right. So everybody, Shannon works at the gym I used to run a tour at the gym. So Shannon's probably about 3% body fat. So she just put everybody that's training for bodybuilding to shame. So as you got into ultra running, were you a cross country runner in high school?
No.
What?
No,
What?
I did track and field, but funny enough, I ran 200s. I did not run long distance. I never did cross country. I did not like running. I did not like running. This happened in my 40s. And I was like, life is short. You got to try new things.
So was it a mental switch or something that caused you just to
Sounds like it.
say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just like this mental thing that you decided that you were gonna. So was there things going on, and this is kind of critical because a lot of people like bodybuilding or whatever they at the later years, where like things going on in it, which you don't have to get into personally or anything, but were some things going on that kind of made you go like, I need just a shift in the way I see the world.
Absolutely, yes, that's exactly what happened. I was definitely looking for something positive because it was a hard time in my life. I had gone back to corporate America after being 12 years stay-at-home mom. I was going through a divorce. I had moved internationally. I lived in Costa Rica for 5 years, and then I moved.
What?
I know, it was amazing. It was like you can't live anywhere better, And then I moved back to I moved to Seattle, which Seattle's beautiful, but it's not Costa Rica.
No, come on. Now look, I lived in Seattle, and look, Hey, they got like 1 month that I'm good with. The rest of the time, where's the sun?
That's exactly right. It rains a lot. It is gray. So there was that. Unfortunately, my mom passed away, and it was like all these things. Thank you. It was like all these things happened within a 2-year time frame. And it was a heavy time. And so I think that's when Jesse Itzler and this idea of ultra running kind of came onto my radar. And it was just like, I needed something big and exciting to pull me out of, where I was.
Yeah. Out of the rabbit hole. I think that's like everybody. I think me, Mike, we've all been there. I think the bodybuilding kind of helped me get through because I was struggling trying to get my book done and everything. So, the one thing, and Mike, you need to just chime here as soon as you can on this is, but the muscles, right? So I see you lifting weights all the time, and they're two different worlds. Lifting weights and running are just two different frictions on the body. How do you kind of balance those two?
Yeah. You asking me or her?
Yeah.
Me, I don't know. I'm not the gym guy. I got little weights at home, a punching bag, and that's how I do my thing. This is the expert here.
Yeah. So how do you balance?
Mudder. I mean, you said you did 12 miles. I don't know anything about Tough Mudder.
That was dynamic. I mean, honestly, like we were talking about a few minutes ago, like reaching a level where you want to do something else. I'm at that right now. I really want to break out right now. That's where I'm at right now. It's like corporate America. I want to do something. I'm like, I'm still young. I've still got enough energy. I'm still in good shape. It's like, what else is there more? Like, I want to do it, And like you said, you started the ultra running. It's like, man, I'm not a runner, but I'm like, what should I do? Put some boxing gloves on or something? I don't know. Who knows? But but the thing is, like back to Vince's question is, how do we balance the weights with the running? Because you still have to build the muscle to, you get shin splits. That's what happens to me when I run. I hate those. I don't know. The shin starts hurting.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that?
Yeah, it is interesting. I do think it is a bit challenging. I try and have some strategy around like keeping my heavy leg day away from my long run day. I try and separate the workouts as much as possible. I'll do my run in the morning and weights in the afternoon, but that doesn't always work. I was doing that for a while. That was pretty good, but now I just don't have the time to do that. So I do them back to back. But I think the weightlifting is so key because it is injury prevention for the running. And so the two, they don't go together, but they do in terms of they complement. Like I feel stronger when I run. I feel like it prevents injuries. I feel like it's better for my overall performance, but it is a challenge to fit it into my schedule. But I love lifting weights. I don't know. There's something about it.
It
I love it.
releases the endorphins and the feel. Yeah, I got you. It just how you feel
Arr.
better. Yeah, it just feels
And you
better.
see the results. You
Yeah,
see
yeah,
the results.
yeah.
And so I think that's what's nice about it is you can see
What
the
is
work that you're doing.
what was your challenge? So you've ran lots of races, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
What was the most challenging? Because you do these off track ones. I mean, do you sometimes want to be like, oh, forget about this. This is crazy because the terrain with the feet and everything. And how I could imagine how it hurts your feet, your legs, and all this. How do you get over it? Like,
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's a couple questions in there. So one, like, what was the most challenging? And then two, like, how do you get over those challenges?
yeah,
So I think each race has had its own challenge. Like the first 100 I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. I didn't know,
yeah.
and that one I had a little bit of nausea that I had to overcome.
Woo.
The second one was a race that was called Save the Daylight. And so it's a 24-hour race. So what's considered a timed race. So it's like however many miles you can get in 24 hours. So
Wow.
you could run 6 miles. You could run 2 miles.
Wow.
You could run, 130 miles, So it's just whatever that you can complete in 24 hours, which is kind of a cool concept. But that one was hard because I had run my first 100 in 24 hours and 48 minutes. 24
Wow.
hours, 48 minutes
No, that's a beast mode.
of running. That's not, you run overnight, you don't sleep, you keep running.
Wow.
You're eating as you go, you're not sitting down. Your goal is not to sit down. So 24 hours and 48 minutes. So at the 24-hour race, I really wanted to get my 100 miles under 24 hours. But on this one, it's hard because you get in your head. Because I was really close to the cutoff. Just spoiler alert, I finished in 23 hours and 52 minutes. So I squeaked in, just under that 24 hours. But I was close enough that it was a head game in terms of, I was like, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You might as well just walk,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I had to lean on my team on that one. You typically in these ultras, you have people out there. I have a crew chief who helps me. She gets the food and the water ready for me when I come in around, and I had to really lean on her for positive
support.
And then the last one I did, I have to mention this one because I've never had blisters so bad.
I could imagine.
I didn't know that blisters. I mean, I thought I could tough out blisters,
Nah.
I've had blisters on the back of my feet before, no big, they hurt, but
these are different.
Yeah, these blisters. I had no idea how bad blisters could get. Bad. And it was on the bottom of my foot, and it was this big around the bottom of my foot. And it actually has a different name other than a blister. It's like mast. I don't know what the word is for it.
And when it pops, it's bad news.
Yeah. So this is kind of gross. Sorry. But your blister, as I was running, I could feel the blister. You could feel you're bouncing on it for miles and miles. The blister's squishy, And I thought that was bad. But then when the blister pops, it's so pain. It's like pain on a different level.
That's when the party starts. Yeah, I can imagine.
Pain on a different level.
Mental toughness kicks in.
I had miles and miles of pain with blisters.
So your mental toughness is probably another level. So you said you ran the 200.
Yeah.
And then you started running ultra distance. So what was the big difference in, and I already kind of know, but I want you to tell us, what's the big difference in you had to alter your style of running?
Yeah, I did start training with heart rate. So heart rate zone. So when you think about, a 200, you're going all out as fast as you can, you're done in less than 30 seconds, With the ultra, you have to pace yourself the game is endurance, you know, like how can you endure over time, you know? So you do have to pace that out. And it's a slower pace. And so you train at a much slower pace. You train in your heart rate zone. So like for me, my heart rate stays under 133 for 90% of my training is in zone 2. And so that actually makes it harder because it is so slow.
Right.
Because a lot of people get bored when they run.
See, how do you train? So, okay, the weights are for the muscles, okay?
Yeah.
But now the endurance is another thing. Do you go on treadmills or go for walks on the park? I don't.
So I'm outside running. Is that what you mean?
Outside, so you just built it up. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I built it up over time. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Like, you know, with the weights, it's progression, you know, progressive overload. It's, you know, you're adding weights, you're adding reps, you're adding sets. Your goal is always, you don't want to do the same thing, or you're not going to see improvement. You're not going to see your muscles grow. You're not going to see your strength grow, right? Yeah, so it's like that progression. The same thing happens in running. It's similar principle, just applied differently. Wow. And that is, you know, you are increasing your mileage over time, or you're increasing your pace over time, you know? So same principle.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was in the Army. That's how they work. You know, you start out 2 miles, but then but your time is bad at 2 miles. So they say, okay, you got to run 5 miles. Then you're running 10 miles. And then when you take the 2 mile test, you blow the 2 mile test away because your body has conditioned to do 10 miles. So 2 miles is nothing when you get around to it. And it's like, and you do it 5 days a week. So you either love it or but there's nothing. And everybody uses the term fun run. There is nothing fun about running. All right. And so when your body's starting to break down, let's talk about the mental capacity piece, because I think this is a critical piece, and this is something David Goggins talks about. You know, get out of your poopy pants and you know and stay focused. So when you start getting in, when you start creeping into what the self-doubt piece, what are some of your techniques you use to overcome that dark piece? Because it happens to everybody that when you run, you're out there, you get in your head.
Yeah. I think if we're, you know, talking about like when I'm in the 100 and when I get to that place, they call it the pain cave. It has a special name.
Pain cave. I remember that.
Pain cave. Yeah. So I think it is one, like trying to identify what the problem is. You know, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Do I need more carbs? Do I need sodium? You know, like, is there something physical that I can do do I need a shoe change? Do I need a sock change? You know, is there something physical that I can do that is going to help this situation? Then I think it is, you know, identifying what that is. If it's not that, it's like, is it something mental that you need to talk yourself through? And what does that look like? You know? And so I think that is one of the gifts of ultra running, but also like anything that's hard is how are you going to talk yourself through it? You know? And that's a step-by-step process. And the goal is like not quitting. And so what does that talk look like with yourself, you know?
Yeah. So how does that translate into everyday life now that you're doing real estate? And so from a personal standpoint, do you think since you started ultra running, has it kind of made you see the world in a different perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives you confidence that you can problem solve, that you can talk yourself through things, that you can get yourself through tough things. And, you know, let me tell you what, the joy of that finish line is, you know, when you have a great race and everything goes right, you know, yes, you feel good when you cross the finish line. But when you have a bad race and you do have to go through the pain cave and get on the struggle bus and suffer and you know, use every tool in your toolkit to get yourself across the finish line, and you cross the finish line, like it just gives me goosebumps talking about it right now, because it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. So, you know, you don't want to suffer, but if you do, it almost like pays you back.
All right. And Mike, so what you got, Mike?
If you don't want to suffer, if you want to suffer, do ultra run.
Yes. I mean, how was the Tough Mudder? You had to suffer.
Oh, that was crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I walked it. I like ran a mile, and that was it, because you got to go through the special forces, military ground marine stuff. There was boys blowing it. It was like, wow. But I did it. But I finished. See, I finished it. There were people dropping like flies. But I took my time, yes, and I finished it, of course, because if you're gonna start it, you got to finish it. It took me 4.5 hours. And I was a little younger then, but I did it and I finished it. I walked through, like jumped to 20 feet and did all that. And yeah, but to run it, I got to give it to you. The 100 miles and all this is crazy. That's crazy. But I know when you started, though. But I know when you started, it was rough.
That's right. But that's exactly what I was saying at the beginning, is that just Jesse Itzer, was like, you can run it. Like, run it. Who cares? Go do it. Go do something. Have an adventure. Go do something. So it's the same thing with a Tough Mudder. Like, you ran a Tough Mudder. Like, nobody takes that away because you walked some of it, like it's yours.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing is I always wanted to do the Spartan, but that would have been but I probably did enough Spartans in commando training, but I wanted to actually do one, and it just happened to come like too late in my life. And everybody goes, well, you can always do it. Not with these knees, you can't. But that's the thing is that, and me and Mike were talking about before you came on, is that you constantly kind of got to focus yourself and always mentally do mental gymnastics to push yourself in life. And it's easy every day with things going on in your life. You got kids, you got schools, you got work, you got this, to find that happy medium. And some people just don't never find it. So I'm sure you got people that look at you. And I mean, I was at the gym and people would always look at you at the gym and they were just like, well, and especially all the females be like, I wish I had Shauna's body. But then I would tell them, I'm like, look, it's a choice that you can't never be that person, but there is an opportunity for you to be the best version of yourself. Like, even when I did the Tampa Pro, I wasn't the best person on the stage. Those young guys were just freaking phenomenal. But I think the problem is most people miss, it's the human check mark, the check mark for your benchmark for yourself. That is critical. That makes a difference. So how are you translating that to your children?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I do feel like they see me, I lead by example, they do see me prioritize, setting goals, setting big goals. They see me put in, practicing, I do the things that set me up for success for those goals. They see me run every day. They see me eat healthy. They see me go to the gym. And, they are gym goers also, and I love it. And they'll come home and tell me, like, we celebrate their wins. They can come home and tell me, like, I benched this, or I just squatted this, or I hit a PR here, like, we make jokes. They had a picture of them in the pool on over the weekend, and, they were like, who has the bigger guns? I mean, so, I mean, we have fun about it too. Yeah, we have fun about it too. So it's not just, all seriousness, but
no, you got to. I mean, you get to when you're doing training in sports. It's always got to be a good balance. So now, let's talk about your new endeavor. Because when I talked to you, were doing some marketing stuff, but now you're a real estate agent. So how is that going? And and how today is. I grew up at a different time than you and Mike. So, and the market was a little bit different back in the day when stuff was like people were getting interest rates at like 12 and 14% for a house. So, so how is the market going? And then kind of give everybody some tips on, on the area you work if they want to get in touch with you. But, just kind of give us a feel about where we're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did just get my real estate license. I'm really excited. I'm focused on the area here. Actually, I'm in Fishhawk as well. So focused on Fishhawk, Brandon, Valrico, Riverview area. And I'm excited to, help people, I think buyers and sellers of homes. It has been a very fluctuating market. We had the pandemic time where we like grew, home values like skyrocketed, for the good of sellers and, to the angst of buyers. And then, now we're on the flip side of that and things look very different. So I think it is important to work with a realtor and understand, the strategy of whether you are buying or selling, like what that looks like for you and timing the market. There's still a lot of opportunity out there. It is just, kind of learning and understanding, based on what your needs are.
Yeah. So do you guys look at the fluctuation between like the different states and how people are relocating? Because Florida has, I think when I looked at the last census, it was like 15% growth of people coming into Florida looking for real estate and new values and property. So are they doing more with new construction, or are they kind of more with the people that already have established homes?
I think you see both. It's very individualized. We are lucky in Florida here. People love palm trees and sunshine, so we are always seeing people that are relocating. I mean, I relocated myself from Seattle to here, originally from the Midwest, but came via Seattle, needing more sunshine in my life.
Is that what that was? It's just let me go to Florida.
Yes,
You had California south of you.
I know, I did. But you know what? Florida is more affordable and no state taxes.
It is. I mean, I lived over there in Orange County in California, and I will tell you this. The house I have here, I would probably be paying at least $7,000 a month for, which is crazy. How do you afford $7,000 a month for a house, $800,000 house, and it's only 2,300 square feet? That's madness.
Yeah,
madness.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
So for young people, though, okay, so switch gears here. So for young people, what does the future look like? Because when I came up, I'm 80s guy. So for 10 grand, house was like 10 grand, 15 grand, which seemed like a lot of money, but you could work 2 jobs and be able to buy a house and get in a house. So for the younger generation coming up, they're just getting out of college the last 5 years. They're stating on the news that they can't find affordable living. They can't find places to rent, because the rent, to me, I looked at Fishhawk one day, and me and Mike were talking about this months ago. The rent costs as much as a mortgage payment.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
There has to be a change, people. There has to be a change.
Yeah, I do feel like affordability is a real topic. I'm not going to skate around that. It is a real topic. It is something that we need to continue to talk about. And, something I think about for my kids as well, but I do think, there are still opportunities. There's actually still a lot of opportunities out there. It's just kind of knowing where and when.
What advice would you give to anyone that's thinking about becoming an ultra runner?
Ooh. I mean, if you're curious about it and it is past your thought, process, that you should go for it. You should absolutely go for it.
And get good.
Are you speaking for you, Vince? Is this?
No, I can't. You already know. Look, I roll out of my sports car. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? I'm one step away from being geriatric. I mean,
no.
Right now I'm in the balance of depending on whether I'm getting a knee replacement or a hip replacement. If I step off a
Goggins
stool,
Goggins got a knee replacement. He got back out there.
And if I step off a stool, I'm wondering if it's too high, if I'm going to break something.
No.
All right, so Shauna, it's been great. Mike, what you got for Shauna before we get out of here, my man?
And in my hat goes out to you with the ultra running, and good luck with the real estate. I mean, I dibble-dabble myself. I'm reading the book. That book is really thick. But I'm like, let's see what happens. Because I like real estate too. I think it's cool. You sell the houses. You can rent the houses. You can sell them. You get people in a home and so forth. And the payday's not too bad, when you do good, So that leads to something. But it's a pleasure meeting you. I appreciate you coming on and keep it running, man. Ugh. Good luck to the next one. Oh, wait, this Saturday. There we go.
This Saturday. That's right.
Oh, hey, I love it. Hey, guys, this is Vince and Mike G down in Tampa. We had Shannon Banning on, and we were talking about ultra running and real estate. Guys, check out, subscribe to the show. Shannon, has been a blessed having you on. This is the first show of 2026, our first guest, and it only took me like 8 months to get her on, so we're all clear. But we finally got it worked out because every time I turn around, she was running. I used to want to ask the question, are you really running from men? Or are you running for your life? I just joking. Hey, I was trying to be a comedian. But with that being said, girl, I appreciate you and stay blessed.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Peace.
Bye all.